Hey, what's going on? It's John and Tim. We're here in New Orleans at the PCA 2026 trade show. Here to show you guys around. Want you to come and see what it's all about.
All right, so our new release from OFC, or Oz Family Cigars, is called Maracana, or without an accent, Maracana. I'm just kidding. Maracana is actually named after like a soccer stadium in Brazil where Pele scored his first goal and his 1,000th goal. So, because of the fact that I have a lot of history, in building like CAO's brand, when I'm traveling around the country, everybody was saying that their favorite CAO was Brasilia back in the day, or maybe even still now, which is great. So I've always liked Brazilian tobacco. So in this case, this is Arapiraca tobacco. That's Brazilian again. And then the fillers, this is made at my father. So I made friends with, we have a lot of great manufacturing relationships. So I became really close with the Garcia family. They had never worked with Brazilian materials before. So this has got a Brazilian Arapiraca wrapper made in Honduras. This is only like the second brand other than like theirs and the one that they did for Tatuaje that's made in Honduras. And then the fillers are from Talanga Valley that they're growing themselves, and also Nicaragua where they're growing themselves. So the cigar is a full-bodied cigar, tons of flavor to it, bold, kind of a Brazilian, Nicaraguan, Honduran powerhouse. And there we have like 4 sizes in them. We have a Toro, we have a 6x60 Gordo, we have a 5.5x55, and then we have a 5x52. So that's our new release, one of our new core line release for OFC at the PCA this year.
All right, I have a sneaking suspicion that you've probably heard this thing before, but I'm going to tell it for you guys here on RIG. This is our new regular production release for 2026. This is Crowned Heads Moonflower. Special for a couple of reasons for me personally, because one, it's our first regular production brand release with my father's cigars in over a decade. Last year at the show, had a meeting with the Garcia family, shot my shot, said I'd love to do a new regular production brand in 2026. They said, fine, as long as you pick the tobaccos and the blend in the next 30 days, no problem. I knew I wanted to do a riff, a mod on the Las Mareas blend from 2015-16. So what we ended up with is a Nicaraguan puro. That's a Corojo Oscuro wrapper grown in Namanji in Nicaragua by the Garcia family. Double binder from Esteli and Jalapa, also grown by the Garcia family, and fillers from Esteli, Jalapa, and Condega, all grown by, you guessed it, the Garcia family. So couldn't be more thrilled with the outcome. An amazing smoke, available in 3 sizes. We have a Corona Gorda 646, a Robusto 552, and our best-selling size, a Toro 6x54. 21 count cabs, shipping in May. Look forward to a retail tobacconist near you.
So we actually, on this kind of theme of me going to Nicaragua a bunch more and kind of reconnecting with like the tobaccos that are there, what's unique, what's available, what can we do that's creative to bring some excitement to cigar lovers? Like, I'm a cigar lover, and I know that people, this is what we're talking to. So I also love like soccer. I grew up playing soccer. My dad was a soccer nut. My sons played soccer. So anyway, the World Cup's coming up, and when I was hanging out again with the Garcias, they were watching either soccer or baseball, and I said, let's do a unique cigar that's a limited edition. Why don't we use all of the tobaccos that you have available to you from all of the countries that have qualified for the World Cup? So that's like Mexico, U.S., Brazil, Honduras. What's the other country I'm forgetting about? But and we have a little bit of Nicaraguan in there too. So this is a blend that has all of the tobaccos of the qualifying countries from the World Cup. It's got a Mexican San Andreas wrapper, and then it's got all those other tobaccos like packed in there. And when you light it up and smoke it, it's like a flavor bomb. It's medium bodied, so everybody can enjoy it, whether you like mild, medium, or full bodied cigars. And it's got a lot going on, a lot of character, a lot of flavor. You know, obviously we wanted to touch on the soccer theme and make kind of like the footband with the soccer pattern in the background there. So, and only there's 2,026 boxes that we made of it. So it's a limited edition item. It's going to be available at the beginning of June. We didn't have very many samples to bring at the show because, quite frankly, the cigars are aging. They're not all ready. So we only brought like a few of them for people to try. But this is the new release, is our World Cup blend. And also the outside of the box is cool too, right? So, I mean, you have something that you can keep, you know, as a memento from this World Cup that, you know, it's happening in like Canada, US, Mexico. Pretty historic. I think it's going to be huge.
All right, I'm standing beside Broadway. This was last year's PCA release in New Orleans from Noxa. This was our Connecticut broadleaf in 3 different expressions. We have a Robusto, a Toro, and an Epicure. Amazingly successful launch. Was well received this past year. Shipping now, available at your local retail tobacconist. Can't say enough good things about it. Little fun fact story. The blend was actually based on a brand that you may be familiar with called Le PCA. And Le PCA was a wonderful cigar that just never really got traction, so I believed in the blend. So I modded the blend, changed out 1 leaf to make it a little bit stronger, a little bit more punchy, and rebranded it, hence Broadway, which is a nod to Broadway in Nashville and also Broadleaf Way, Broadway. So a little double entendre. Next up, we have Tennessee Waltz, which, are you on? We on? Okay, Tennessee Waltz. So Waltz last year was not in our booth as a rebrand. We didn't get this done until November of 2025. So this is the first time that we've had it at a trade show, rebranded and expanded. Last year it was only available in the 5.5 by 52. This year, we have it in 3 different sizes. We have the OG 5.5 52, the CG, which is a 646, and a Toro 654. In the beautiful rebrand that we have here, striking orange, one of our best-selling brands, been out since 2014, made at My Father's Cigars, Esteli, Nicaragua.
So last year at the trade show, we launched our OFC Caratoba blend, our Oz Family Caratoba blend. Now, what's the name Caratoba? Again, you know, everything's trademarked, so you have to come up with an exciting, interesting new name. So, you know, really this is kind of like a mashup of 2 names. Kara, the prefix Kara is Turkish for like dark or black, and Toba is the most volcanic lake in Sumatra, and this is Sumatra seed Ecuador. Now, the thing about this wrapper is that it's like A+ quality Sumatra seed Ecuador. My friend Gustavo Cura, who runs Noxa, has also been in the tobacco broker for like, you know, over 3 decades. So really, the tobaccos that he has, the highest quality tobaccos that he has a lot of experience with are Sumatra seed Ecuador and Connecticut broadleaf. So why wouldn't we use something that is like A+ quality in a really like wonderful tobacco? So when you smoke this, you're getting a lot of like spice, maple syrup from like the wrapper. And then the fillers are like from 3 different regions in Nicaragua, and also like some Ligero from Dominican Republic that acts as almost like a blending agent for all of them. So, right, so you see the different sizes that you have, like 5 by 52, 5.5 by 55, my favorite size, and then you have 6 by 60, and then a 6.5 by 50, a Toro. So it's gotten like a bunch of high ratings from us from Cigar Aficionado, like a couple of 92 ratings, 92, 91, 90. So we're really proud of this blend.
All right, now we're down to La Imperiosa, which was actually the talk of the show, oddly enough, last year because of the striking rebrand that we showed. Nothing's changed since 2015 when we released it, made at My Father's Cigars in Esteli, Nicaragua, available in 4 different sizes. What is new that was not here last year is Jericho Hill, which, like Tennessee Waltz, wasn't rebranded until November of last year. But now we have it in the show. We're displaying it. Beautiful rebrand. One of my favorite cigars we've done, made in My Father's Cigars, Esteli, Nicaragua. Little nod to Johnny Cash. Go down the rabbit hole. Fun facts. All right, in this display case, we are looking at Mil Diaz Maduro in the rebrand. It was here last year. Could not talk about it though because it is one of our best-selling brands. Elegant smoke. When people ask me what cigar, if they've never smoked the Crown Heads, would you start them off with? I always go to the Mil Diaz Habano because it's not aggressive, it's easily approachable, easy to smoke. But even if you've been a cigar enthusiast for years, you can pick up on the nuances, the sweetness, the subtle spice notes. Mil Diaz Maduro, banger, Connecticut broadleaf, both made at Tacanixa by Iradio Pichardo in Esteli, Nicaragua.
This is kind of like what I call like almost like the family heritage line. When we first started or introduced like Osgener Family Cigars or Oz Family Cigars, this is where we started. We had our Bosphorus blend, which is a Habano Ecuador wrapper, double binder from Jalapa, and then also Connecticut, Ecuador, and fillers all from Nicaragua. Jalapa, Esteli, Omotepe was in the top 25 best cigars of the year from Cigar Aficionado. Multiple 92 ratings, over 93, 92 ratings on that. This one is actually, Fursat is my late father's favorite style of cigar. So that's Connecticut Ecuador wrapper, and then all milder Nicaraguan fillers from a region where they're growing a lot of coffees, Jalapa. At higher elevation coffee, at lower elevation, they're growing these tobaccos. So they actually just got a 92 rating in Cigar Aficionado like 2 weeks ago. So it's a wonderful cigar. And then we have our Aromas cigar, which is a Mexican San Andreas cigar. Mexican San Andreas, and also has like a unique Dominican Ligero from La Canela that we're using in there. Really good. So that's kind of our core Oz line that we started with.
Okay, this is something fun that we have new for this year. I have to give Miguel Shodell, our Vice President of Sales, much credit for this idea, but what we wanted to do is recreate like what the perfect shelf space looks like with the new rebrand. So we've built these shelving units to replicate like a retail tobacconist shelf space so you can see the continuity, the overall look, the actual space of what Crown Heads would look like. This does not include the new Moonflower. That's on display over there. But this gives you an idea of what to look for when you walk into a retail tobacconist. This is what the rebrand looks like, top to bottom, continuity, brand presence, all there. And yeah, it's kind of fun. So anyway, we've enjoyed talking about PCA 2026 in New Orleans with you guys. We'll take you for the ride next year in Las Vegas. Until then, keep smoking Crown Heads, keep smoking Oz Family Cigars. Have the best day of your life.